At the grandest stage of the summer, Roman Reigns would make his unshocking return, confronting and attacking Solo Sikoa and helping Cody Rhodes retain his undisputed championship. I think the direction we're headed is quite clear. Roman Reigns' bloodline to take on Solo Sikoa's Walmart version of the bloodline. Who knows what happens after that? So let's book it. Let's book the Bloodline Saga. So as we know, Roman Reigns has been advertised for Friday night SmackDown. Now on SmackDown, Roman Reigns comes out. He challenges Solo Sikoa to a match one-on-one at Bash in Berlin. But Solo Sikoa comes on the monitor and he says, "Not so fast, ex-tribal chief. Not now. Me versus you. It will happen, but not now." He wants Roman to work his way up like he did. Like how he built the bloodline, Roman needs to build his empire once again to match Solo Sikoa's level. Roman Reigns needs to rebuild himself to swim in deep waters with Solo Sikoa. Although Solo Sikoa is incompetent. And from behind, it's the bloodline who attack Roman Reigns. Jacob Fatu, the Tongas, they're beating him up. They're beating up Roman Reigns. And there's no one who can come out. No one who can help Roman Reigns as he's left beaten up. The following week, out comes Solo Sikoa. The man who thinks he's beaten up Roman Reigns. He's left him. He's driven him out of the company just 2 nights after he made his return. But little did he know, Roman Reigns was out for revenge as he comes out and the beatdown is on the bloodline once again. But this time Roman Reigns has the upper hand. He shoos away the bloodline with this unexpected attack and he says, "Anyone, give me anyone at Bash in Berlin. I'll fight any of you and I'll defeat any of you." But Solo doesn't want any matches against Roman Reigns. He wants to be as far away from Roman as possible. He's scared. He's scared he'll lose his position. The following week, Roman Reigns makes some calls and we see him speaking to someone, but we don't know who. However, it's clear that this person has some authority, for he makes a match official. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. Roman Reigns will have a partner, but he doesn't know who. He'll have to find someone. On the SmackDown before Bash in Berlin, we see Roman Reigns in his locker room. We see him talking to somebody, asking them, who can team up with me? Can you find someone? And that somebody has a plan. Eventually Bash in Berlin comes. Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu enter. This is the opener of the show. Roman Reigns comes out and he comes out with Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman introduces Roman Reigns in the most emphatic fashion.
Your winner, the ultimate needle mover, the head of the table, the tribal chief, in God mode himself.
Announcing that Roman Reigns' partner will be Jimmy Uso. And after Solo Sikoa attacked him on the SmackDown after WrestleMania, Jimmy Uso is back for revenge. Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns take on Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga in the opener of the show. Eventually, it's the good guy bloodline. Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso pick up the win after a frog splash spear combination to pin Tama Tonga, and they stand tall. But from behind, it's Tonga Loa with a botched low blow and a botched attack to Jimmy Uso as Solo comes out and spikes Roman Reigns. Again the beatdown is on. Again Solo blindsides Roman. His goal is not to fight Roman but to take him out. Jacob Fatu joins and Tama Tonga as well, even though he's lost. Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns are busted open. They are left with blood covering their entire body as Solo puts his leg over Roman Reigns, does the one in the air and asks the crowd to acknowledge him as the cheap bloodline stands tall and the good guy bloodline has fallen down. Roman Reigns returns to SmackDown 2 weeks after Bash in Berlin happened and he says he wants Solo's blood on his hands, and what better place than bad blood. But Solo is still not willing to give Roman the opportunity, maybe out of fear, but Solo says it's out of the fact that Roman Reigns hasn't reached his level. Thus, a challenge is laid out. Roman Reigns has to defeat the entire bloodline in a gauntlet match if he wants to face Solo Sikoa at Bad Blood, and Roman Reigns doesn't care. He says that he'll beat up the entire bloodline, he'll finish them and destroy them before he destroys Solo Sikoa at Bad Blood. And if Roman Reigns is to win this gauntlet match, then he gets to choose his stipulation. If he loses, he leaves Solo be and Solo will be the tribal chief forever. The match takes place in the main event of Friday Night SmackDown in the following week. Roman beats Tonga Loa in like 5 seconds because he's incompetent. Tama Tonga is also driven out of the way by Roman Reigns. And eventually, we get Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu one-on-one in the ring in this Gauntlet match. And these two go at it, solid 15 to 20 minutes. And as the match draws towards its end, Solo Sikoa comes out. He tries to spike Roman Reigns, but a hand holds Solo Sikoa, preventing him from doing so. It's Paul Heyman. Solo hits a low blow. The beatdown on Paul Heyman is on. Jacob Fatu is distracted, and Roman hits a low blow on Jacob Fatu, followed by a spear. He pins Fatu, and it'll be Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa at Bad Blood in Bloodline Rules. This match is the main event, and it has been presented as a tribal fiesta, the biggest match in the family that has ever taken place. Solo makes his entrance on a throne, the tribal throne, with the Ula Fala around his neck. And Roman vows that the Ula Fala will soon be his. The match is underway, and tables, chairs, and weapons of all sorts are used. In fact, we get a spot during the match where Solo Sikoa uses the Ula Fala to choke Roman Reigns. As the match is coming towards its end, as Roman has hit a spear on Solo and is looking to pin him, out come the Tongans. The Tongans come out to beat up Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns has backup. He has Jimmy Uso join, and Jimmy Uso comes out beating up the Tongans, taking them on 2-on-1. Roman assists him, but Solo gets the upper hand. He hits a Samoan spike, but Roman Reigns kicks out. The offense in the match continues. Roman Reigns gets the upper hand once again, but the cheater that Solo Sikoa is, of course, Jacob Fatu comes out. He starts beating up Roman Reigns, but Roman and Heyman had a backup plan. And then we hear the music. Jey Uso comes out from the crowd as the crowd is eating away at his music. Jey Uso eats the crap out of Jacob Fatu, sending him out of the ring, hits a frog splash on Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns hits a spear and pins Solo Sikoa in Bloodline Rules. But Solo is furious. After the match, he's screaming. He's howling like he did after SummerSlam, and Solo grabs a mic and he says, "Roman, my bloodline versus your bloodline, War Games." And he throws the mic, and thus 2 months prior, the match is set. Leading up to the match, we get these cool tribal anointment segments where Solo tries to prove each and every week that he is the tribal chief, with everyone acknowledging him. There's a segment where he calls the entire family and he makes them sit around the ring to acknowledge him as the Ula Fala is presented to him. A gold Ula Fala to be put around Solo Sikoa. Solo is furious that Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso have now cost him twice. Their returns have cost him beating Roman Reigns, and thus Solo and the entire bloodline decimate the entire Raw, SmackDown and NXT locker rooms to ensure nobody, and yes, nobody, helps Roman Reigns. But they forgot that some wrestlers aren't on the show. Some wrestlers have taken a break after major losses of major titles. Solo feels that nobody has the guts to join Roman Reigns' team, and thus it will be 3-on-4 at War Games. We get the Usos versus the Tongans in a ladder match, and the winner will get the advantage at War Games. During the match, it's Solo Sikoa, accompanied by his right-hand man, Jacob Fatu, who bring Paul Heyman's lifeless body out and drag him to the ring as Paul Heyman lays unconscious. This distracts the Usos, and the Tongans pick up the win, gaining the advantage for Team Sikoa. Thus the match is set at War Games Survivor Series. Heyman says he's made the call, but he doesn't know whether it'll be answered. Jay says he's spoken to his friend, but he doesn't know whether he'll be there for him. Thus the 3 members for Roman's team come out, and then there's silence. Silence in the arena as the fans wait for who will be fourth, and then we hear his music. The crowd goes crazy as the speakers blast in everyone's ears. Sami Zayn has come back, and he's come back to help the bloodline. He knows they're good, he knows that they have the correct motive, and it's War Games, Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0, and the winner, Roman or Solo, will be crowned as the tribal chief. The match is brutal, weapons are used, and it's one of the best War Games matches we've ever got regarding match quality and storytelling. At least I'm assuming that. As we come towards the end, Sami Zayn hits a haluva kick on Solo Sikoa, a double frog splash by the Usos, followed by a spear. A combination of brutal moves puts Solo Sikoa away as Roman Reigns picks up the win and sends the cheap bloodline into obscurity. Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, and the tribal anointment or tribal acknowledgement segment has been held after the show. As Roman Reigns walks on the ramp, bends his knee, and waits for the Ula Fala to be presented by him, the Samoans surrounding him with hoods over their head, and as the person with the hood goes to put the Ula Fala around Roman Reigns' neck, he doesn't. He hits a low blow and puts it around his own neck, and he reveals himself to be The Rock. The Rock puts the Ula Fala around his neck and beats up Roman Reigns. Jay and Jimmy Uso are shocked. The Rock grabs a mic and says, "Good job, Solo. It's my turn now." And The Rock reveals that he was giving orders to Solo Sikoa to oust Roman Reigns from the bloodline so that he could become the tribal chief. Roman Reigns and the entire good bloodline is written off TV. Or maybe they are injured or God knows what happened to them. They're written off TV. The Rock comes out every other week to assert his dominance, to assert the fact that he is the true tribal chief and how easy it was to become the tribal chief. Because Roman Reigns was weak. He was weak, he was driven by emotion, and that's why he lost to a midget, an indie midget like Cody Rhodes. But The Rock is here, back to gain prestige to the bloodline. He plans to enter the Royal Rumble and win to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. He'll get the Undisputed Championship to the bloodline, then retire the championship with himself and leave the bloodline embedded in gold for history. The Royal Rumble comes. The Rock enters at number 1. But what does he do? He grabs a chair and sits ringside. As The Rock sits ringside, he orders wrestlers not to touch him. He orders them to leave the ring, leave on their own, or he'll fire them. And then he just comes in the ring for like 2 seconds, removes like a jungle boy, and then goes back out. And then there are 5 men left: John Cena, Randy Orton, The Rock, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. The other 4 have no significance, by the way. And 1 man is left to come. The Rock finally realizes it's time that he gets in the ring and actually wrestles. But that was a mistake because he gets hit with a spear. Roman Reigns beats up The Rock and he returns once again at a top pay-per-view. He wrecks The Rock and leaves like the Fiend, and at number 30, out comes Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins eliminates The Rock, history to WrestleMania 40, and the winner of the Royal Rumble, well, that doesn't matter, because Roman Reigns is set to take on Jacob Fatu at the Elimination Chamber on orders of The Rock. And only if Roman Reigns beats Jacob Fatu can he face The Rock at WrestleMania for an opportunity to once and for all become the tribal chief. On the week after the Royal Rumble, we get a PowerPoint presentation from The Rock on why Roman Reigns was the worst cousin in the family. He shows the embarrassing things that Roman Reigns has done as a child. He brings back the segment where dog food was thrown by the Usos and Roman Reigns on Baron Corbin. He shows the 2015 Royal Rumble where even though he was present, the biggest star in the company, the true tribal chief, everyone still booed Roman Reigns, and that's how much they hated him. He mocks Roman Reigns' entire career week after week. We get another classic Rock concert insulting Roman Reigns and the Usos. We get dark segments from The Rock because Raw is on Netflix now and SmackDown is SmackDown. Eventually, Roman Reigns faces Jacob Fatu at the Elimination Chamber. This match will be brutal, a throwback to the Gauntlet match that we got at SmackDown. The match is interrupted by the entire bloodline except The Rock and also Roman's bloodline, who brawl. Eventually, it's Roman Reigns who picks up the win, but The Rock was nowhere to be seen. The Rock explains his absence by saying that he didn't want to interfere with Roman Reigns. He didn't have time for Roman Reigns. The only place he has time for Roman Reigns is at WrestleMania. He says he knew it was inevitable. It was inevitable that Roman Reigns and him would face at WrestleMania. It was proposed at WrestleMania 38, but he said no because Roman Reigns was too small a star. At 39, he said no because he wanted to see if Roman Reigns could beat a midget like Cody Rhodes, and then only would he be qualified to face The Rock. At 40, he said no. He said no because he planned to face him at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, the biggest and grandest WrestleMania of all time. And truly, after this match, the winner would be the tribal chief of the family, and no one could say anything. Both the bloodlines were banned from ringside. This would be 1v1. On the week leading up to WrestleMania, The Rock had insulted Roman Reigns, said he was a humiliation to his family, and his father, who was now in heaven, was looking down at his son like a disappointment. Roman had everything to fight for. He wanted to save his family and his company from this evil boss who had taken it over but had nothing to warrant his authority. Roman would take on The Rock in a Bloodlines rules match, but the Bloodline were barred from ringside, Romans and The Rock's. It was a 1v1 match, but it was Bloodline rules, so weapons were allowed. After a brutal 45 minutes of wrestling in the main event of WrestleMania, Roman Reigns would lay busted open, bleeding, in one corner of the ring, and in the other corner would be The Rock, busted open as well. As Roman Reigns would get up, he'd do the woo-wah, the spear thing, and he'd spear The Rock, pin him in the center of the ring, and become the tribal chief. As Heyman and the entire family would walk down, as Heyman would take the Ula Fala with excitement. He's so happy, the Walrus Heyman, as he wants to put it around Roman's neck. But The Rock stops him. He holds Heyman's hand and he says no. He takes the Ula Fala, he snatches it out of Heyman's hand and he puts it around Roman Reigns' neck. And he says Roman Reigns deserves this. Him and Roman are probably not over, but Roman Reigns is the true tribal chief of this family. He is the original tribal chief.